King Richard, West Side Story, The Book of Boba Fett, Moonfall, and Balto, all reviewed in one video. Also, you can tell me any movies you want me to review, and I may review it in my next mega review. And let's begin. I finally watched King Richard last week after hearing how much people liked it, and it's going to the Oscars. Will Smith might win Best Actor of the Year. So I finally watched it after hearing all these great reviews, and it's just a fine sports movie. There's nothing special about it. At the ending, it's a little bit more realistic, where the person loses. Still, for most of the film, it's just a familiar sports movie. I just think the one thing holding it back is Will Smith as King Richard. And even though he does do a good job with the performance, he is just so insufferable for the entire film. I found it hard rooting for him. Whenever someone tries to help his kids become better, he resents them and he pulls his kids out of school to do tennis, and he just keeps doing all these stupid choices. He just comes off as insufferable. I can't root for this guy. And even though Will Smith does a good job in the performance, I think it's some of his best acting in the last 5 years, which isn't saying much. I just couldn't root for the main character. 8 out of 10. I have a confession to make. I saw West Side Story after I made my top 10 favorite movies of 2021 list. Yeah, that was just really bad, because West Side Story is probably in my top 3 favorite movies of 2021. And also my favorite Steven Spielberg movie of the last 10 years. I will admit, all the Steven Spielberg movies that came out in the last 10 years or so, they were kind of mediocre, wasn't as memorable as his old movies, but this seems like a nice return back to form, and it actually seems like Steven Spielberg's best film of 2005 and over. The characters are great, and even though there's some characters that are fighting each other, you get where both of them are coming from, so you're not really rooting against anyone or rooting for someone. They are all very likable characters. The music, the dialogue, it's all like from the 1930s or 40s, and I really enjoyed that because I love movies from the 1930s and 40s. I grew up watching the Three Stooges movies, so them talking like they've been in that era, I just thought was pretty refreshing from the other movies we got this year. So really probably the best Steven Spielberg movie of the last 10 years. And also probably in the top 10 best Steven Spielberg movies. The Book of Boba Fett is a show that I want to get into. It just baffles me that they take this interesting character with a mysterious past that we all wanted to see more of in the movies. It was just a very awesome character. And they make him into a slow-talking mob boss instead of a very cool assassin. So they take this character and they make him into a slow-talking mob boss from Godfather 3. So it's just a very boring TV show. The first 3 episodes I just couldn't get into. The 4th episode I think was a little bit better. But still, the first 4 episodes were just boring, dull. It was just Boba Fett walking around this town, acting like he's a mob boss. Episode 5 and 6 doesn't even have Boba Fett in it. I think there's like one scene with Boba Fett, but it's just a trailer for Season 3 of The Mandalorian, and they have this whole side quest with The Mandalorian from that other TV show, which is a very weird choice because he's not the main character. This guy is, and this guy isn't even in most of the episodes. And then in the last episode that a lot of people really hate, I couldn't care about what happens in the finale because they don't do the hard work to develop the characters. I don't care about the villains in the show. We barely get any screen time on the villains. We don't get a motivation for the villains. The only character I was really interested in the show is that guy from the other TV show they dropped in, I think it was Cad Bane. And he's from another TV show, and he doesn't even have that much screen time. So the villains are forgettable. You don't care about what happens because you don't care about the characters, and it's just such a waste of a good character. So, still not a bad show. There's some scenes I liked about it. It wasn't totally boring. It's still Star Wars. I like spending time in this world where there's aliens and there's different planets. So 6 out of 10. Now there's actually a lot of things I really liked about this movie, and I thought it was much better than I was expecting. The characters are interesting, the cinematography is really good for a disaster film. I think it has really good cinematography that exceeds my expectations. But most of all, there's this nice mystery where you ask, what's happening with the moon? Why is the moon getting out of orbit? That's a very interesting idea. Maybe the moon is a living creature. Maybe the moon actually is a thing that was made years ago, or there's just some mystery behind the moon that we don't know of. So there's this nice mystery revolving around the moon and why it's gonna crash into Earth. But then our characters go inside the moon, and it turns out, oh, it was aliens. Yeah, all that mystery about the moon, all of it was aliens. Really? Aliens? Aliens are the ones that are behind this? Out of all the great answers, out of all the things you could have done with this mystery, you chose aliens. And then also at the third act, they have this thing where the military tries to blow up the moon, and that's when things just get a little bit too stupid for me, because not one person in the military thinks that blowing up the moon that's right next to Earth is a bad idea. So, just very, very, very stupid film. And it had a lot of potential to be Emmerich's best movie. It had a lot of great ideas in there. 5.5 out of 10. A subscriber recommended this movie to me, and it's exactly as how I thought it would be. The animation can be pretty beautiful at times. The score can be pretty good and carry a scene. I think Kevin Bacon does a good job in the lead role. But it seems like they're borrowing from other kids' movies, and I'm just not in the age range for these type of films, so I didn't like it as much as other people might like it. I didn't grow up on this film or even know it existed until now. So yeah, Kevin Bacon does a good job. It has some humor in there that kind of works, but at the same time they use too many sound effects and too much slapstick, and they kind of rely on that to make you laugh. So overall, 7 out of 10. Thanks for watching this video. Please tell me what you think of these movies, and subscribe and leave a like, and have a great day.